Hello and welcome to Somerset Highlander. Today is May the 20th, 2023. I went away on holiday for a couple of weeks and I posted in my previous post a few pictures of how the garden was looking, and then I came back to a jungle. This is the second full season for this garden and you can tell plants are starting to get established, and I'm going to take you around. So one of my favourite little plants is the Mexican Flea Ban, and last year it was quite well established, but you can see as it goes up the driveway it's become more and more established now. It's great and it's self-seeding all around the place, and I quite happily let it do its own thing. So now we're in May. The Steward Hedge that we have has really started to fill out. We've obviously had some flowers and some buds showing, and you can start to see that it's actually really started to fill out quite nicely. We've got some more Mexican Flea Ban underneath. As you can see, we've got the odd flower here just poking through. We've got some other flowers and buds starting to show as well. So it's really started to come on beautifully. And obviously the aphids love it, but as a result, so do the ladybirds, the other beetles and insects that eat those bugs. So this year you can start to see the copse here, as we fancifully call it. I mean, it's only 3 trees, but hey, you can start to see them really filling out and starting to bush up, and it's a really nice area. So we've also got the rowan tree, we still have the cherry tree, and then the amelanchier behind, but you can start to see that everything's really starting to fill the ground cover. We're just starting to get some nice flowers coming through. We have planted a couple of new plants in the back. The bluebells we planted in behind here, but they've just started to go over. And then further down we've planted some wild garlic. Hasn't looked very happy, you can see it at the back there, but to be honest it's only just going to get established this year, but hopefully next year that'll start to self-seed and we'll start to see it develop in the area. But everything's really coming out. The catmint's starting to get ready to be the great attractor of bees, but as you can see, if we start pulling back, we also have our geums now coming out, and it's just a lovely sort of more mature view we have of this part of the garden. And then if we swing round, you can start to see there's a monster of a plant in the middle. That's teasel. We may need to dig it out because it's gone a bit mental. We just got to see if it flowers and what it looks like, but we're probably going to have to reduce it down somewhat. And then we obviously have more geums. The roses as well are doing quite well too. Last year the lavender wasn't very good. To be honest, a lot of places struggled with lavender last year, but it's started to look a little bit healthier this year. The middle one's a bit sad, but the rest of them are starting to look really good. And I forget the name of this plant. This was actually a seedling that my wife grew last year, and it's just done really well. It's just started to establish itself. So those of you who've been following my video diary, you'll realise that this is not the normal bench that we've had here. It finally gave up the ghost over winter. So we acquired this new bench here, which we have put there to admire our cottage garden and our little copse. So the view, as I sit down, you'll start to see that this is our view, and it's a great place to just watch the garden in the morning and catch a bit of sun if you're having a coffee break. And the other nice thing about it is that although it looks wooden, it's actually made of plastic. It's recycled plastic, so I have to say it's very sturdy, very elegant, but it really works. It surprised me actually when we looked at it. I was thinking I'm not going to be convinced by this, but actually it's really good. So everything's just getting ready to be full summer, which is lovely. You'll also see in the back there, these are some bulbs we planted last year. These are alliums, and we did plant some other alliums which we're hoping will come up later in the year, but these ones have come up and they're quite delicate, but they're doing well and they're happy. And this climbing rose, well, it's gradually pushing out, but it's not really climbing. The idea was for it to climb up and over, but that doesn't seem to be happening. You will be able to tell if you look back in the previous videos just how much everything started to grow and bush out, and it's really doing nicely. And this year we've got some perennials, so these should just grow back every year, and they seem to be surviving nicely. This is a bit of a rain shadow, this area, so we have to make sure we keep watering it, but so far so good. But sadly, nothing in the bird boxes this year again. So next year, if I don't get anything, I'm going to have to maybe move 2 of the boxes, and we'll see what we can do though. So this is our wildflower meadow, and when I left it, it was maybe, I don't know, half a foot off the ground, and 2 weeks later it's about 2.5 to 3 feet off the ground, and it's just gone berserk, but it's looking really nice. Some of these flowers we had here last year, others have not come back, probably because they just don't like our climate as much, but so far it's looking really nice. Some of the red clovers come back late this year. Last year it's a lot earlier, but you can see the red clovers hiding in there, which is great, but not as much of it. And then if I swing round to the other wildflower meadow, again, it's gone a bit berserk, but I like it, and it just adds that cover. So this is the pond this year, and it's started to have a really mature look to it now. If I swing round, you can start to see everything's just come to life, including our lovely irises I got from my next door neighbour last year. They've actually come into flower beautifully, and the fennel behind it's doing really well, so we're starting to get that sort of ground cover. So the blue flag irises are just starting to show the flowers, just about to flower fully, and the marsh marigolds have gone over now. The mint is starting to come to flower, and if I move over here, the yellow flag irises are in full flower. They're looking lovely. And if I just move over here, you can see a red damselfly's just landed. So the damselflies and dragonflies definitely like this area, and they laid last year. We know that because we got the nymphs in the water. And just behind our latest additions, I'll try and show you without killing myself, we have foxgloves, which we planted this year, and they're doing really well. So hopefully over the next couple of years we'll add some more, and then they'll just self-seed. And then our hawthorn is in flower as well, and it's looking stunning. And here's another joy. This is a poppy which is self-seeded from obviously the wildflower turf. It just shows you if you give nature a chance, it will take full advantage, and it's just great to see it doing what it should be doing. And we've got some geums here. These boxes we're going to put some plants in. We did have some spare tulips. As you can see, they've gone over. These box plants we've added in the front here, partly because we had a couple of deaths of plants. It was just so cold in the winter. We actually did lose a few plants, but actually not as many as a lot of our neighbours did. As you can see, the hot garden here it's doing okay. The geums seem to like it a lot, but actually it's a little bit dry, so we'll probably have to start watering this now. And as we come back round, oxeye daisies are about to go nuts again. Banksia rose, they're just on the turn now. They were really nice about 3 weeks ago, they are starting to grow and spread out. As I said, the original plan, and I think it will get there, but it's going to take a while, is for them to cover the whole gable end of this garage eventually. And then another teasel that's gone crazy. But yeah, it's looking really good. And I think summer is going to be great. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe and like. And I'll see you again soon.